Tonight's Cowboys Super Bowl Report is brought to you by Gibson's Discount Center. It's Friday. We're just a couple of days away from the Super Bowl, Super Bowl V, between the Cowboys and the Colts. The 40 men are ready for the Dallas Cowboys, and there is one who has almost been forgotten. We'll talk with last year's Rookie of the Year after this message from Gibson's Discount Center. One year ago at this time, Calvin Hill was the rage of the football nation. Rookie of the Year, second leading rusher in the National Football League. Now, just a couple of days before the Super Bowl, he's almost a forgotten man, having lost his job because of injuries and the excellence of Duane Thomas. It has been, as you might suspect, a year of great frustration for Calvin Hill. Calvin, I know that this must have been a year of frustration for you. That's a supposition of mine, but assuming that it's true, can you put the words of frustration, or can you put the frustration into words?
Well, you know, it's funny. Last year when I had a good personal season, I said, you know, the cake without the frosting is no good. And this year I got the frosting with no cake. So, you know, maybe next year I can put both of them together. It's been frustrating from a personal standpoint. I think it would have been even more frustrating had we not gotten into the playoffs like we did and then come this far. So this sort of takes away a little of the frustration. My main thing now is being ready, you know, in case I'm called upon, and after that's over, to get myself ready for next year, which is going to be my year to redeem myself, I hope.
It may be unfair to ask you to make a comparison between your talents and those of Duane Thomas's, but are you a Duane Thomas fan in the limited area that you could be?
Yeah, you know, I knew Duane before, you know, before all of this happened, and you know, he and I are pretty close friends. You know, and sounds almost cliche-ish, but you know, if it had to happen, you know, if this had to happen and it had to happen to me, I'm glad Duane did it. You know, there are a lot of considerations. For example, you know, Duane gets certain bonuses, I think, for doing certain, you know, gaining a certain amount of yards, and you know, I think he achieved those bonuses. I think, in terms of that Rookie of the Year thing, I think it was, you know, sort of sad and maybe bad that, you know, he came on so late in the season, because, you know, they take the voting so early. Yeah, I think maybe Dallas ought to give him the bonus anyhow that they give you for making Rookie of the Year. You know, I think he's a heck of a back, and you know, it's a good thing. You know, I think, you know, I'm a Calvin Hill fan, but I'm still a team fan too, and you know, I want the team to be as strong as possible.
Calvin, do you consider yourself injury prone? You've been hurt. You were hurt last year and again this year, brought down by really nagging injuries that seem to persist. Do you think you're injury prone?
I don't know. You know, I've been giving that a lot of consideration. You know, and even thinking about what is injury prone. You know, I've never been hurt as much, I guess, as I have these last 2 years, and I haven't even finished the season, as a matter of fact. But, you know, I haven't had any serious injuries. I guess my knees and my ankles, and as long as I can keep those together, you know, I'm going to keep trying. I think maybe I was a little too reckless a couple times this year, and, you know, I'll learn from past experience next year. I won't do the same thing.
There are many options for Calvin Hill. He might be moved to tight end. He might be traded. Or he might end up as a second-string running back or a first-string running back with the Dallas Cowboys. I think possibly he wouldn't mind being traded to the Baltimore Colts, but that's just one of many options. At any rate, the future looms large. This is Verne Lundquist with the Dallas Cowboys, Channel 8 Sports in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Tonight's Cowboys Super Bowl Report is brought to you by Gibson's Discount Centers. The Dallas Cowboys have been in Florida for the better part of 1 week now. Some reflections on how that week has gone and their reaction to the preparation of Super Bowl V after this message from Gibson's Discount Centers. Rather than a week of fun in the sun, it has been a week of primarily intense preparations for the Dallas Cowboys during the 7 days that they have spent in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Oh, true, we've had the beautiful surroundings here, and we've also had the beach that's been a part of so many of our background reports that we've sent you during the week. But for the most part, the Cowboys have been quite intense as they prepared for their first encounter in Super Bowl V. The reaction to the press has been just unbelievable. There have been some 25 to 30 television stations who have been here on location constantly throughout the afternoon. 200 or 300 writers who are permanently assigned to this week and who have been a part of the reaction to what has gone on. Perhaps on our half-hour show just a few moments ago, you heard Craig Morton say that he was getting telephone calls from the press at 7:30 in the morning. So it's been difficult. But one has been struck with the loose attitude, primarily of the Cowboys, that they have maintained throughout all of the harassment that has been a part of the week. But I have no doubt that now the tension is beginning to get to them. We are filming this, of course, in the afternoon. It has been 7 days since we arrived. You are watching it at night, which means that the Cowboys are probably thinking their own private thoughts now as they await Super Bowl V. As we film this, I can't help but look down on the beach and see Mike Ditka, the Cowboy tight end, standing on the shores of the Atlantic, no doubt thinking his own private thoughts about the Baltimore Colts and what his responsibilities will be tomorrow. It has been that way all week long. Not a week of joyous fun, but a week of pensive collection of thoughts and a week of intensive preparation of what is to take place in the Orange Bowl in Miami tomorrow afternoon. No one knows, of course, how well the Cowboys will do. One has a hunch that they will do well because they have done so well in the previous 7 weeks under unbelievable pressure. But regardless of the outcome in tomorrow's game, it has been 11 years to Super Sunday, and they are here. This is Verne Lundquist, Channel 8 Sports, with the Cowboys in Miami, Florida.
This car is called the Prairie Schooner. It's powered by a Ford engine and was built from scratch by its owner. It's one of the 214 entries in the Texas Autorama Car Show with custom cars, pre-war automobiles, custom bikes, and just about everything you can think of. Let's take a look at some of the action and some of the wild colors. Malcolm Landis at the Custom Car Show for Channel 8 News on the Move.
Well, I think more likely, in my opinion, we need a regional penitentiary worse than we need a regional jail. A regional penitentiary, with the writs and such as we have today, and the many times we bring them back from the penitentiary, we have men on the road practically all the time bringing them back because of new interpretations of laws. Now, a federal penitentiary, a regional penitentiary in this area would alleviate some of this condition, and would also alleviate some of the trouble we're having with crowded jails. Frankly, I think men on appeal should be put in the penitentiary. They've already been convicted. And federally, they do this in federal prisons. But the state of Texas has never been able to do this in our state penitentiaries yet. This would help jails all over the state of Texas.
We are advocating that we call for our charter to require weekly council meetings. We meet now every other week. We think that the more regular meetings are necessary to properly conduct the city's business. We're asking for the requirement that special elections be called always to fill any council vacancies. Right now we have a council vacancy. The council could fill it by appointing someone to that vacancy, but they hesitate to substitute their will for that of the community as a whole. This amendment would require the special election to be held. Then another change would be to require runoffs in elections where the candidate with the most votes might be short of 50% of the votes, but if he happened to be the top candidate of, say, several in the race, he would be elected. We think that the majority will should be expressed here, and that runoff should be required where no candidate has more than 50% of the total vote. And then finally, and the issue attracting the most interest, of course, is our proposal to expand our city council by adding 2 additional members.